So I've just been out to buy a Samsung ATIV 500T tablet. This is another Clover Trail tablet, actually my third Clover Trail tablet. And the reason this is my third is because basically I'm just trying to get through them to test them all for you, for UMPC Portal as well. The Acer W510 I've had for a while, I've still got that, and the reason is because I'm finding a good use for this 10-inch tablet. Keyboard not so much, but the battery in the keyboard, it really adds good value, and it was a good price. But I probably will sell this because the reason I'm really interested in a Clover Trail tablet is to have it for really long duration typing, so you know, a day's sort of typing work, blogging work, and the problem is there, you've got to find the right keyboard. Now I've just taken back the Lenovo Lynx, which I have to say I was really disappointed in the keyboard. It's actually the worst Lenovo keyboard I've ever tested. So Lenovo Lynx went back. They did happen to have a Samsung ATIV 500T with keyboard in stock, so of course couldn't resist it really. So this is slightly different to the others because this one hasn't got a battery in the docking station, in the keyboard side of things, but it does have a digitizer layer on it, which the others don't have. So there's a bit of a pen involved here, and I'm just really hoping that the keyboard's going to be up to scratch because both the W510 and the Lenovo Lynx just haven't been up to scratch as far as I'm concerned. This is a €799 bit of kit. It's not, you know, desktop capable Core i5 or anything in there. This is Atom. So this is effectively a netbook inside of here. Okay, it's the latest version of their platform. But for $799, I expect something pretty good. So I'll zoom in and take you around the device. We've got the 11.6-inch tablet, and here inside is the docking keyboard. As I said, there's no battery in this, and it has. I'm really hoping that that is a good quality keyboard. Now, it looks and feels like Samsung, but the Lenovo Lynx keyboard looked and felt like Lenovo, but it just wasn't. 2 USB ports on this, no SD card slot, which is a real shame. I really would love to have a full SD card slot on the base. It just makes so much sense for importing photos and the like. But of course, adapter cable would work there. Now in here as well should be the pen. In fact, let me zoom in on the whole package for you and take you around the device. So this is not the Samsung, this is the Acer W510, the 10.1-inch device. Now, immediately you can see that the Samsung is much bigger. But what I'm hoping is that this will be the optimal size for a mobile typing keyboard experience, so less cramped keyboard than on the W510. Let me take you around the device. We'll talk about the specs as we go through. So we've got an Intel Atom Clover Trail platform here, up to 1.8 gigahertz, dual core. We've got a 1366 by 768 touchscreen with capacitive layer as well, so there's a digitizer pen that goes with this. It's extremely light, 750 grams, and really can be used as a reading device, as a magazine style reading device. So on the sofa, on the chair, not in bed, where I think 7-inch tablets really excel. Got the button on the front there, and it is a hard button, so it means you can use, you can do screenshots with the button and volume down, which we'll have a look at in a minute. Let's go across the top of the device. There's the headphone port. Don't like them when the ports are on the top, because when you're connecting to an amplifier or something, it just sort of seems to hang there and look horrible. Microphone input, that looks like power. We've got, what have we got here? Probably a rotate lock there. And then there's a USB full size, I hope. Yes, a USB full size port on the tablet itself. So that's something. A lot of them have micro SD. And here's the second microphone. So we've got a dual array microphone here. Coming over here, we've got micro SD slot. So you'll be able to put some storage in there. It's not really for swapping SD cards in and out. On this side, which probably doesn't pop out, would be the SIM card slot. I don't think that's going to pop out for me, but let me just try that here. No, I won't force that. That would be where the SIM card goes on the 3G models. So here, there's nothing. And then on the bottom here, you can see where we've got the pen. It's fairly tight, and it's not a huge sort of professional style digitizer pen, quite small. and we'll test that in a bit, and it fits in there quite snugly. So where are the volume rocker switches? Here they are, volume up and down, and then we've got a micro HDMI port as well. So much like all the others, micro HDMI, micro SD, but on this one you've got full-size USB, which at least is something. So nice. What colour do they call this? I mean, I call it a gunmetal grey. I think they call it some sort of mystic blue or something. LED with the probably 5 megapixel camera there. Obviously no removable battery. So then we've got the keyboard. So that is a metal. It feels a lot nicer than the Lenovo keyboard, which the Lynx keyboard felt a little bit sort of cheap, flexible, and not so well built. There's no backlight on the keyboard, there's no battery in here as well, so all you're really getting is a USB pass-through, and let's have a look at the ports here. You've got power in there, USB full size on this side, and USB full size on this side. So no, there's not really a docking station. A docking station to me would have, you know, audio and video out as well. So this is really just a USB pass-through, and there's the hinge there. So what happens is that just pops in there. If I can get it done correctly, I might have to take the, let me just take the plastic off this first so that we don't get that caught up in the works. And on the back, take that off. And I'll just make that go like that. And it should be, I think it's a magnetic one, this. Okay. Do I need to pop these out first? Or are they going to... I probably need to pop these out, actually. These look like the locating holes. So if I just take those, ping, and this one out. Okay, it's tidier. So if you're only buying the tablet, you can block the locating lugs off. Now that should go in quite nicely now. There you go. It's not completely smooth to go in there, and there it is. Let me just. Okay, there's a shiny back to it. I thought that would be matte, but it's got a shiny sort of plastic finish to it. There's not a covering on that either. So it's a nice compact unit. It's really netbook style weight, probably 1.2 kilograms. Opens up very easily actually. Doesn't go back too far. In fact, doesn't go back as far as I'd like it to go back, to be honest. Probably for me that is my working angle there, so I'm going to have to hold it a bit further away from me than normal. And does that come out nice and easily? It does. And it goes back fairly easily as well. So it's a magnetic. Looks like a magnetic, or feels like a magnetic catch there. I'm not sure. It's a little bit wobbly, but yeah, okay. So let's have a look at the rest of the box contents, because we should. Well, you've already seen the pen there. There's the power, fairly small power brick there. Power cable. And for the first time in a long time, there's no recovery disc here. You've got the keyboard dock, user guide, warranty info there. What goes in there? Something's missing from there. That's interesting. I wonder what would have gone in there. Maybe a cable? That'd be interesting to find out what should be in that part of the box. Maybe there's something missing, although it was a sealed unit. So, there you go. Let's take another sort of zoom out look at that, and I'll compare it quickly to the W510 side by side, so you can get a good feel for differences in sizes there. So there's your difference between the 11.6 and the 10.1, and of course the Acer has another little trick up its sleeve in that you can do that with it. Now you can't do that with the Samsung, and it's not a bidirectional. No, it's not a bidirectional dock as well. So I'm just booting it up right now. There's a couple of things to mention as that happens. Clearly one of the reasons they don't let the back go back too far is that if you do, then it does a little bit of a has a little bit of a problem like this, where you've got that dropping back. Well, in this configuration here, you can at least put a reasonable amount of pressure on the screen before that gets into a sort of unbalanced state. That's the sort of balance point there. So that's the reason probably they don't let it to go back too much. And I think because this is an IPS screen, the viewing angles up, down, left and right are really good actually. So there should be no problem. You don't have to sort of tune the angle of the device to your eyes. So I'm just going to boot this up. We'll go in and I'll give the keyboard a quick test. So as you can see, I've booted up and I've been testing the keyboard. And it seems a lot better than the W510 brackets because it's a little more comfortable in terms of spacing and more accurate than the Lenovo Helix, because I'm not seeing any hangs or the same amount of dropped keys. In fact, the dropped keys are probably because I need to get used to the keyboard a little bit more. So I'm at this stage, and it's very early stages, that's all I've written so far. The keyboard actually feels very good, and I'm feeling quite positive about this. This is a little bit plasticky around here, and it tends to vibrate when you're actually typing a little bit, which is not the sort of comfortable feedback you really want, but it's totally bearable. I mean, that's just a really small side point. As for the mouse, well, it's got multi-touch, which is something the W510 doesn't have, and something the Lenovo Helix doesn't have as well, so that's really good as well. It's slightly bigger, certainly a lot bigger than the one on the W510, and the integrated mouse buttons, well, they seem to work okay. So actually overall the working fascia on this is pretty good. I'm pleased so far. Of course, first impressions. What I want to show you though is the pen. So this is an active digitizer. If you haven't seen one of these before, it's a very accurate way to basically point and use effectively a mouse on the screen. There's one other thing as well. I'm not going to touch the screen, but if I zoom in here, I hope you can see this. Let me just show you what happens if I hover over something. So I'm not touching the screen, but I'm hoping you can see there's a little pointer appearing, and you can see the hover action is triggered. And that's something you never get with a finger. Fingers don't trigger hover actions, and just like the mouse triggers it there, using the mouse pad at the moment, but an active digitizer enables it just like a mouse. Now that's really useful because in my back end here I need that hover to enable some features. So it actually completes, in terms of tablet usage, completes the sort of web experience really. Without a pen, without a digitizer, you don't get hover. So that's really nice. I like that a lot. You've got press to right click as well. So there's the right click button. Of course you can scroll like that. No, you can't scroll straight on the pane, but on the side there, nice and smooth. So that's the active digitizer. A little bit small, of course. A professional digitizer would be a little bit longer, but it fits nicely into the device, and I'm really pleased that it's there as well. Just having a quick glance through the device manager here to see if there's anything special we need to mention. The network adapter is Broadcom, as on the other Clover Trail devices. There's a sensor, HID sensor collection that could be the rotation, accelerometer. So I'm not sure if it's got GPS in this one, but there doesn't seem to be any surprises in terms of devices here. All looking fairly standard. 64 gigs of eMMC on this one, so that's the storage, and that's not as fast as SATA based SSDs, but should be fast enough for most people doing just standard stuff, and it will certainly be more responsive than the good old 1.8-inch hard drives you used to get on these Windows tablets, so that's a good advance. As far as the Wi-Fi is concerned, it has got the same chipset. Down here I'm seeing potentially a little bit better reception than on my other device. My Acer W510 here rarely shows full bars down here in the cellar, in the studio. This is showing full bars, so maybe Samsung have done a better job with putting the antennas in around this device, but it's the same single channel Broadcom N adapter there. So one of the reported issues on the ATIV 500T, which a number of people have mentioned, is that the connector between the screen and the keyboard is not perfect. Now, it didn't take me long in this test to actually find out. I think I have the same problem as a lot of other people, in that the connector isn't solid. What I've done is I've just put the audio out onto a speaker so you can hear it a bit louder when the USB connects and disconnects. But if I just sort of move the screen a little bit, that's okay. There you go. You can hear the USB connecting and disconnecting. Now, if I really push that down hard, and I really have pushed that down hard, beyond the connect click, you still get to hear. Oh, yeah, there you go. Just by moving the screen backwards and forwards. My cable is not perfect there, but you can hear it going in and out. So that if I press the Windows button and then move the, there you go, it stops working. So that means the whole keyboard mouse is not working. You have to wait for it to reconnect. So take that out. There's the connector. It's only a kind of pressure connector, and the pins are in there. And push it until it clicks right in. And actually, keyboard hasn't come up. I'll push it in a little bit harder. Keyboard hasn't come up yet. Let's just do that again. Keyboard hasn't come up yet, although the touchscreen of course is working. No keyboard. Ah, the keyboard's come back. This is a well, brick wall. Why am I buying this device on the 16th of February when these problems were reported in the end of 2012? This is bad engineering, and it's actually going to make this device go back to the reseller. Samsung, get your act sorted out, for God's sake. This is a €799 piece of kit, and it doesn't even connect to its docking station properly. Now I'm going to give it a couple of days. See, that even wobbles in there as well. That's not completely stable. I'm going to give it a couple of days so that the connectors can bed in. Obviously, these parts have not been produced. These parts have been produced separately and have never been together before. So, you know, there's maybe going to take some time for the connectors to bed in to the connector on the other side, and if that works over a period of a few days, and of course I will be putting it in and out and moving it around to try and get it to bed down, then everything will probably be okay. But right now, as it is, with that keyboard jumping in and out all the time, you know, I don't want to be doing this. I don't want to be pushing the screen to get the calendar to work and then the keyboard not working like that. So I'll be testing it for a couple of days. If that problem doesn't fix itself, then this is going back. Samsung ATIV 500T, so near, and yet we've got this issue which could be an absolute brick wall for me. If that doesn't sort itself out in the next couple of days, this will be going back. And you know, I rarely get emotional on videos, but that sort of thing really pisses me off, because this is an €800 bit of kit. This is not $299. This is not a netbook. This is an expensive bit of kit, and something like that should not happen. Especially when this is February, and that problem has been talked about since September, October maybe. Unacceptable, but I will give it a couple of days to bed in. Maybe those pins will bed in, and maybe that problem will go away. Even if it does, it's always going to worry me that that problem is going to come back in the future. But I will give it a couple of days, and we'll see. Apart from that, let's assume that will fix itself. Apart from that, it's a very nice device. There's a good keyboard, a nice multi-touch mouse. It's a little bit plasticky, but you do have the active digitizer, which adds a real new layer to the sort of touch, sort of the input mechanisms you've got, and the way you can sort of creatively input on a touch screen. I like that. Shame it hasn't got a battery in the docking part of it, but I'm hoping that the battery life will be enough in the tablet part to keep me happy. Samsung ATIV 500T. So UMPCportal.com is where I'll be reporting on this. So follow up on this, because I will be reporting if it doesn't fix itself in the next couple of days. Ultrabooknews.com is where I report on the sort of core-based tablets, the Ultrabooks as well, and that's where you go if you want a sort of full desktop powered tablet or a laptop. Ultrabooknews.com. UMPCportal.com is more for the handheld stuff and the long battery stuff, life stuff, and the mobile stuff. My name's Chippy. Don't forget to like the video if this has been valuable to you, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.